Baxter.
42 days on the road roll by, with everyone feeling like the first. New faces every day in a blink of an eye. Never any time to rehearse. The lights on, the mic's on. I'm a strumming and a humming in the dark of night. I'm on, right on. Well, it's 1,000 miles of proud delight.
Well, that certainly put me in the mood for this evening's programme. Coming up, we'll be chatting to Rich and hearing more of his music. Also, by popular demand, we have a special message from the band you voted as October's Guest Artists of the Month, Rix 2. We'll get some insight into what life has been like for them since they were on the show and what they have planned for the summer showcase. So, stay tuned for that. For now, let's get to know a bit more about Rich.
Hi, hello. Yeah, my name's Rich Baxter. I'm 49 years old, which I still am struggling to believe that I'm in my 50th year now. And yeah, I've been in Bournemouth since 1999, but originally from Milton Keynes, where the journey effectively started to get me where I am now. And I think there's quite a story to tell, and hopefully you'll find out a lot more about it.
Now I have the pleasure of being joined by Rich. Good evening.
Good evening, thanks for having me.
Great to see you, and that was terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you. When we caught up with you before, you mentioned that a change had happened in your life that pushed you to pursue music full time. Can you tell us a bit more about what it was that caused you to start a new chapter in your life?
Sure, I mean, it's a very sensitive subject, but without it happening, I wouldn't be here doing it now, so I'm happy to talk about it. 2 days after my 40th birthday, I was happily diagnosed with cancer, which is not the, you know, life begins at 40, as they say.
Bombshell.
But it was a bombshell.
Yeah.
It knocked me for 6, quite frankly. And I found it very difficult to focus on anything at the time.
I'm sure.
Especially my work back then.
Mm-hmm.
But in a kind of weird way, I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm kind of happy that I went through it because during I had to have chemotherapy, which again was a shock. I just thought it'd be an operation, carry on with life. But the chemo just knocked me for 6. And I have to say, whilst I was recovering from that, I kind of remembered what I said at school, that I wanted to be a full-time musician, and I hadn't done that. So as I say, life begins at 40. That was the moment that I kind of woke up and thought,
wow,
that I have to do this now.
Yeah. What had you been doing before?
I worked for a headphone company, so we manufactured and we did training seminars all across the world for a headphone manufacturer, a very famous one. But it was time to stop doing that and time to focus on what I really wanted to do.
So you'd always been involved in the industry in some way or another, but now you were going to start living your dream.
Yes, and
when did you start? Sorry.
No, it's fine. I did actually start gigging way back when I was 12 years old. I passed my GCSEs by inviting my music teacher along to one of my gigs. I mean, what a great way to pass your
Got
GCSEs.
on her good side.
It was easy. So I've always been gigging, and I've been gigging for a long time. But that was with the drums. This is something different for me now. So
Okay.
it's a new chapter.
Brilliant. Well, that's an incredible story. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, as Rich is going to get himself set up over there for his next performance, he wanted us to let you know of an organisation that helped him, Macmillan. Now, Macmillan, as we're probably all aware, help people out with cancer treatment, but that's not just what they do. They help your family, they give advice. So if this programme has raised some issues amongst you and you think you want to talk to someone about it, then the number will appear on the screen here. So please, you know, if you're worried, give them a call. As ever, if you've got any comments on this week's episode of An Evening With, or if you'd like to suggest an artist to appear on the show, please do get in touch on Twitter at An Evening With or via email. So, Rich is now all set up and ready to go. Please enjoy this wonderful cover of Jack and Diane.
little ditty about Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland. Jackie's gonna be, a football star, and Diane's sitting on the front seat of Jackie's car.
I'm joined once again by Rich. And I noticed in that performance, you were playing guitar and drums at the same time. Some nifty old footwork going on there. So I understand that might be a little device that you've done yourself, made up yourself. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. Well, I think you should ask my foot because that's the one that's doing it. I don't have
it. Certainly was working well over there.
Yeah, I don't have much control over it. I'm predominantly a drummer, so when I started out doing the guitar, I always had the drums in my mind that I wanted to do, but I didn't want to do looping. I didn't want to have a backing track with the drums. I wanted to learn how to do it by myself with my foot. So it's been a 3-year project to create what I've created on the stage there, to bring it to fruition, and I'm really pleased with the way it's gone. That's about version 3 of what I've created, and it's only been within the last 6 months it's finally come together, and people are starting to recognise that I am actually drumming with one foot.
For being such an inspiring guest, who's going to play us out with an original song of his, Texan Memory. Thanks for watching.
Well, I got secrets, too many to tell. There's one I gotta say as I bid you farewell. Well, it's like a burden, it's always on my mind. I can speak right now cause I'm always looking behind. The dust carries so far, another gun is my sin, and no guitar. Well, I shot JR. It caused commotion, spread far and wide. I sat and heard the whisperings at the bars. Well, if they only knew that I shot JR. I had a 9 till 5. There's nobody for me. But then I come back home to my chair and my cable TV. If they can dream a season, it means I can too. So far to believe, let me live mine through. Where this road is long, the dust carries so far. Another gun is my sin, and a no guitar. Tell me what is real, I ain't no TV star, but it's part of me, it's written in my memoirs that I shot JR. I shot JR.